Awesome. All right. So I think, we gave our kind of extra 30 seconds to a minute. We can jump right in, and I will do so, or we will do so rather, by presenting your presenters. So I am James Olbert. I'm the guy on the left. Modern Work Sales Manager is the fancy title they give me. I'm essentially looking to help enable you, help drive some business, help to inspire you and your team, and even your customers, really, to all the magic that is M365. And I do have two of my esteemed colleagues with me. So Samuel Donovan, pre-sales extraordinaire when it comes to M365 in particular. General knower of things is how I describe him, and try and stump him, and I wish you luck. So he's a big part of our success here internally. And then Tram, our leader on the M365 side. So Tram is our product manager. Again, as the title, but Tram does a little bit of everything, probably more than any of us feel is human. But again, just looking to share some of the insights and the highlights, I guess, from the last quarter and what's upcoming in regards to M365. All right, so here's what we have on the agenda for today. We will be looking at some Sherweb updates. So there's some of the internal stuff we've been cooking up for you. Looking at Microsoft news, so some new launches, new timelines without saying a specific date, and then looking at some initiatives and promotions that are available as part of Microsoft. And then it seems like things are a little bit calmer outside here. So getting out, getting in person is something we're just really, really happy to be back live and shaking hands like it used to be. So just some of the places you can find us, and as well as some of the events we have upcoming as well. Cool, and we'll ad lib if there's anything that we think of as we go through here. We'll be sure to throw it in, but otherwise, I will pass it to Tram in just a moment. We'll go over the Sherweb updates. In regards to housekeeping, right? So it's kind of the tradition here. This deck will be recorded. It's generally the first or second question we get in these types of events. So yes, this will be recorded. The deck will also be shared, and any of the collateral that we have will be available to you. And as always, do leverage the chat. Should you have any questions, any thoughts, we take jokes in there as well. So anything you care to share, we'd love to hear from you. With all that fancy intro being said, I'll pass to you, Tram.
No, I was able to mute myself and unmute, but since I was muted by Randa, I wasn't able to. All right. So I only have 3 updates I wanted to share today, but I think all 3 of them are really nice updates in general. And I know that we already sent out email communication, and if you are usually accessing and using our partner portal, you probably have also seen some of our notifications inside. But I just wanted to kind of hop on and kind of share it again. So if you go on the next slide. What we call the net price. So that's kind of just some improvements on our end to kind of I guess generally improve some backend features in the partner portal. But I know that it was also some concerns of a few partners of ours, right, that you weren't able to see your true partner cost, I guess, what we call the net price in the platform. So I kind of just wanted to share that we have launched it, I think, a few weeks ago now, and kind of are live with it. So now everything you see in our partner portal, and as you can see, right, there are several places where we usually display prices, either retail or your partner costs. So all of those places are now kind of correctly displaying your true partner cost, which means it's the suggested retail price of any product, including any partner discount you may have, any promotion discount if you have any, or any other, I guess, limited time discounts. So yeah, kind of just wanted to share that, that it's I guess finally a good final improvement on our end for that part. Then on the next one, if you want, prices explored is also something I'm very excited that we're, I guess, almost done with it. So if you go on the next slide, I know that it was something which was frequently asked of our partners, right, that you have some sort of way to download a price list export for you to kind of see all the different products we sell, and you can sell in at Sherweb in our partner portal with the MRSP and then really your partner costs. And your currency, I guess. So very soon, I don't like to put any final dates without, I guess, like I don't want to jinx it. So, but it's very, very soon. So definitely like in the next weeks, and definitely not months, but really weeks, maybe even days. That we are going to launch this for everyone. It's currently in beta phase, so that's kind of like why I'm a little bit hesitant to give a final date. But I'm really, really excited about this. And then once this is live, as you can see on the left side, on the, I guess, like one of our testing environments, that you can go under setup, which I think you should already be kind of familiar with. Then you go under offer pricing, and then you will see a new button on the right, which is called export price list. And then it will download a CSV file for you, which you can see an example on the right side. Maybe like the final version will have a few modifications to this one, because I think we added a few other columns as well. But yeah, so that's something I know, and I've heard a lot of partners were asking for it. So I'm really excited about this. So coming very, very soon.
Yeah, I think that's kind of with any product or any dev timeline. All of you can surely attest there. We never commit to, or promise a firm date until we're really a day away. So far, I'd imagine the betas are going well. So I haven't heard too much news about it. So that's usually good news. So that's again much appreciated. As Tram was mentioning, in through the setup tab, or just through Cumulus in general, do take a moment to update the contact information that's in there. Maybe there'd been some different role changes over the time. So do go ahead while you're exploring some of the new features that we put out, just to make sure that profile update is there. That way you can stay in tune with all the good stuff we're trying to do, from, let's say, a sales enablement, or just other platform Sherweb updates, otherwise said. Super duper cool. So yeah, so that's a really good feature coming out really, really soon. Thank you so much, Tram.
I still have one more.
Ooh.
Something else I'm also very excited about. So it's something we've also been hearing, I guess, from our partner base, and I guess like from you, like the attendees, that you would like to have some sort of kind of like single point of truth where you can find all information and updates around Microsoft in general, but mainly Microsoft 365, I would say. So we've been trying something new, which I think now is like the second version, which is going to be published soon. And we're trying to do this on a monthly occurrence to kind of like really provide you with monthly updates for anything, I guess, like Microsoft updates to have on your radar, to kind of like show you general updates, which I think we are interesting and important for you guys, new SKUs on NCE or legacy, discontinued SKUs, any promotions, events happening, et cetera, et cetera. So really for you to have like your, as I mentioned, the single point of truth with all Microsoft updates, hopefully, which are important for you. So you should already see the first one, which included January and February updates. If you go into the partner portal, and then on the left side, you can see that there's next to your name and the phone system, there's a little box with all the notifications. And then you should see that it's called Microsoft Updates to have in your radar. And if you click on it, it will basically forward you to the screenshot on the right. So it's kind of like a very long kind of like summary. So yeah, I'm also really excited about this one, and I guess like feel free to reach out to your account rep if you want to provide any updates, something if you like it. It's always good to hear positive feedback if you think there's something missing, etc. So yeah, we're trying to do this on the monthly, as I mentioned, occurrence. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Another super cool one, and probably Sam can attest to this as much as anyone here. Microsoft may have a change or two per day or so. So there's a lot to stay abreast on. There's a lot to follow up. We could easily spend our day watching blogs and probably still not be entirely up to date. So again, just trying to distill all that's out there. We're not going to get it all, but the dream is, with the evolution of this, we really do intend to. So like I said, Tram mentioned there, keep us honest. Give your feedback. It's really, really important for us to get this right. We want to help you as much as possible, and this is one of the ways we think we can do so. Again, so we're going to distill, gather all the various sources of truth that are out there, and make it really easy for everyone here to stay up to date.
Yeah, as you mentioned, right, like Microsoft publishes so much information basically on a daily basis, really like to focus what really is important for you and is kind of like as of like relevance for our partners, and that's kind of like what we want to put on here.
Yeah, awesome. Again, hats off to the team, the dev team, and the back end people, the marketing geniuses who come up with this stuff. Again, it just simplifying the cloud, right? So we're what we're here to do. So chapeau, as they say.
That's all on my end.
Super cool. Always appreciated. Next on the mic, we have Sam. So Sam is kind of new to front facing. I imagine, I would definitely hope that many of you have had a chance to work with Sam in the past. As I kind of did the intro earlier, just knows. So as much as we get up here on these sorts of presentations and we get to sound pretty smart, I like to think so at least. Sam and the team are the reason that we actually have an idea of what we're talking about. So a new segment Sam and I were kind of workshopping is the security with Sam. Again, just knows all kinds of weird stuff that my little brain doesn't absorb at all. So Sam is my source of truth. It helps me to distill this as he does for our entire team, and again, hopefully many of you. With that being said, I'll throw to you, Sam, and you can walk us through this DAP to GDAP.
There we go. They mute me. It's a fail safe. Don't worry about that. So GDAP, DAP to GDAP, something I'm sure you guys have never heard before, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. So this is one of the biggest changes in security posture Microsoft has done since post NCE, and it's one of the best things they've done. It protects you, it protects your customer base, it includes your customer base, it protects everyone, but we got to find out why and how it's going to affect you, right? So we're just going to go over top-down view, what it is and how it's the timeline it's going to be. And if you have any questions, feel free to throw it in the chat. So what is GDAP, Granular Delegated Admin Privileges? I'll read you the Microsoft spiel and then we'll break it down one by one. Microsoft is introducing GDAP, Granular Delegated Admin Privileges, to maximize your security ecosystem. Partners, you can find more granular and time-bound access to their customer workloads than their current delegated admin privileges model to ensure everything is aligned to the zero trust alignment principles in the channel. Well, sounds complicated, but it's not. Essentially what it is, it's removing God mode from the CSP for your customer's tenant. As we saw in the last 2 years, looking at SolarWinds and Kaseya, the information stream works up and downstream inside your customer's tenant. If there's a blip, unfortunately, it can go both ways. Now, with what Microsoft is doing is removing this feature for you and your customer's tenant. So you have a more granular access on the permissions within the AD and your backend, so your customers feel more at ease with what permissions you're getting from them. And that way you're still able to go in and support your customers on whichever level you choose without having vulnerability inside the tenant. If we look at the next slide, we can see little points inside. So why the DAP to GDP? So we were talking about before, delegated admin access. So be able to remove the security risk from customers. So now the new model is working with least privileges versus giving all the privileges to everybody. So before you would have a delegated admin with inside your CSP, and that pretty much a user could do anything inside the tenant because everything was universal across the board. Now you can have different profiles and settings for your CSP, so you can have them involved as much as you want to. With this, it removes all the controls and that you'd have before, so such as having shared MFA tokens across your IT team. You can now set it on a more granular level by function. So let's say somebody who's working more in Hex might not necessarily need to work in an Azure environment, but still be an IT admin with inside the tenant. You can set that on a granular level now. Before, you'd have to have PowerShells with Azure AD to say, hey, if this person's in this country, you wouldn't be able to log in or past 6, 7 o'clock. It was very complicated to be able to roll out the security groups. Now, post GDAP, we're able to put this on a singular level and be able to roll it out to everybody all at once. So it protects you and it protects the customer as well.
Yeah, I think it's like you're saying there, it protects both. So I think for the customer in particular, right, and this is what we do in the channel here. It's always the customer first, and for them having that peace of mind, knowing they only give the key to the room that you need access to. For me, it feels like it would be very reassuring if I put myself in an end user shoe. And then for you as partners as well, mitigating risk, right? Like that liability of having full, not unmanaged, but having just really, like Sam said, a God mode or having complete access. With great power comes great responsibility. To quote Peter Parker's uncle, but that's kind of the concept here. We don't need so much if we're only going to be doing a small piece of the pie. Well, just give me access to the stuff I need. And again, liability and protection for partners and applying the zero trust and actually securing the environments for end users pop up.
And it removes a lot of admin work as well. Just to give you an example, before the customer relationship was indefinite forever. So even you got a consultant come on board, you add them to as an IT admin, they're doing some work. 4 years later, if you never remove them from your AD, they still have full IT admin inside your tenant, right? And that leads to issues down the line for security. Now, for example, max 2 years. You can have an established relationship before you have to renew. So it's just little things like that that we forget in our day-to-day life that post-COVID has become a reality. So looking at the milestones for GDAP, they are subject to change because Microsoft does go with the flow of the water based on the market. So depending if there is issues down the line, they could extend it or reduce it. So these milestones, take it with a grain of salt, but starting May 2022, that's when they're going to start doing the main rollout. So if we look at the first one, Microsoft will start transitioning old DAP accounts to GDAP within AD roles. So any of these old users or permissions that have been sitting inside the tenant for a couple of years or old users, those will automatically be switched. So there's not a user impact that you need to go in and vet every single user and reestablish the relationship. So that way, if there is an older user, they'll be automatically swapped. For relationships that have been transitioned from DAP to GDAP, we will remove the corresponding DAP relationships 30 days later. So there is a little bit of a grace period within that 30 days. If there is an issue, it will be removed after the 30 days. So you do have 30 days from the day that you transitioned. For the month of June, we will pause to support the fiscal year closure with Microsoft. So for the month of June, you do have a bit of a grace period because that's how Microsoft works with their fiscal year. And they'll honor the 60-day notice milestone for creating new customers and retiring the bulk migration tool, because going after GDAP, they'll have a new tool being rolled out. No timeline on that yet, to be able to move all your customers without having to admin each one and accept the relationship. Also, in the future, they'll have more tools to help with this as far as licensing and mapping it out. But for now, these are the first milestones we have. I don't know if James has any more to share on that end.
Yeah, really quickly, I think you said it there. It's for any of you who may not have been privy, Microsoft does tend to update timelines from time to time. So that's why we're displaying the most recent information that we have available. By no means is this something that we're going to say, hey, these are the official dates, not until Microsoft comes out and really is firm in that type of a statement. For now, though, again, to the best of our knowledge, to the best of what's available out there, these are the dates to keep in mind. A simple suggestion, if anything from our end, would be to start to consider this, to start to discuss this with your customers, do an evaluation to see what it means for you internally. We wouldn't imagine there to be very much impact for partners. Some busy work, let's say, to get it set up as it gets rolled out, but it should be fairly painless overall.
I can equate it to setting up an Azure AD for the first time. Yeah, it's a little bit painful to have everything set up and organized at the first set, but once you're rolled out, it just continues off. So once you get the first GDAP customers rolled out, the relationships accepted, just going forward, be business as usual.
More of the same, yeah.
So these are a couple of the rules and permissions that are available within GDAP. I won't go every single one because a lot of it is techno mumbo jumbo, but these are a taste of some of the rules that you're able to give to your CSP and granular admins that are a lot less resource heavy. So if we take a look at some, so let's say help desk administrator, number one ticket giver in all of IT. I'm sure all of us have had to do a password reset. I know James had to do 3 this year because I had to do it for him. So with this, he's able to enable me with inside the network to do a password reset without having access to our Azure environment, without being able to add machines, delete SharePoint sites. It's really just for the password reset. Before, it was admin on, admin off. So that's just a taste of what you're able to do post GDAP without having, God mode for your tenant, as we said before. Like, this deck will be available, so you'll be able to see all these relationships as we roll them out. And Microsoft is adding a lot more as it gets more popular down the line, and this will also be moving to the Azure space as well.
Yeah, and we do have a guide as well available, I believe, through the knowledge. I know that would be in the partner toolbox generally. But that's something we will include in this in the send out after this event, or maybe in the next week or so when we send out the deck. We'll have a link to a little bit more of a deeper dive, let's say, into the DAP versus GDAP, We had also done, and our amazing colleague Tram, along with our colleague Stephanie, had actually done a webinar specific to this topic. So again, you can find that on our YouTube channel, so Sherweb YouTube channel, to go and inform yourself more granularly in regards to this change, different scenarios, and kind of
We
what to
have a
expect.
guide given by Alex LaFlamme that'll show you step by step how to get it done with inside your tenant if you need help on that side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just value, right? It's the same thing that we expect, and we know you all are delivering to your customers. Just trying to simplify, just trying to translate some of the speak that's out there and say it in human form.
Yep. Next update is within the Intune Suite, which is a very welcome update because this has been asked within the partner network since its release, and Microsoft is finally trying to unify all their products into one. So in early 2023 subscriptions with Microsoft, they'll be able to expand their endpoint manager. So Intune is releasing 2 new SKUs, Intune Premium P1, Intune Premium P2, which will add a bunch of additional features that you guys have been asking for and be able to manage your devices. So remote help being the biggest one. Before remote help, you would have to connect the team, start sharing your screen. It was very slow. It was not ideal. Now with remote help, you're able to have a help desk function with inside of Intune on a per user basis. So for help desks or MSPs that use this function, it's very, very handy, and it's a much faster tool than what we were using before, and it doesn't require any third-party software. So everything will exist inside your Microsoft configuration manager, such as Intune AD, so you can have it all from one unified console. Endpoint privilege management, tunnel mobile app management for specialty devices. So before, Intune was very set on just locking down cell phone, iOS, Android, and laptop computers. Now you're able to have specialized devices for these, such as a punch clock or a diagnostic tablet, stuff with custom firmware, and be able to roll out updates to these devices. Before, it was used just via autopilot. It was just revoking mobile data. Now you have a full autopilot system for these devices and able to manage them through the same console. So if you do have more specialized equipment that does need to be locked down, research equipment, things like that, you're now able to enroll it inside of Intune, which is pretty exciting because before it was just Mac OS, iPhone, Android. Now you have opened all these specialty devices and be able to manage them. Another exciting features. They're not released yet. They're not in public preview. Microsoft said late summer, subject to change, obviously. But now you'll be able to have third-party app catalog with app patching, which is huge. So very often we ask, do we have a solution inside Microsoft to be able to inject apps, manage apps on cell phones, computers, tablets, you name it? Before we would just say autopilot, you can manage the Windows platform. Now you'll be able to manage and update all these apps to these devices and be able to do custom rollouts. So no need for company devices anymore. You can have any type of device at a VPN tunnel, be able to manage the catalog and continue as normal and still be managed by the organization. So that's pretty cool. And it's going to be attached on a per user basis. So you don't need to blanket your entire organization. So it's managing the user's devices and keeping the security posture post GDAP that we spoke about before is going to be a lot easier. These are the only updates share, unfortunately, just because it was only released last month and the additional capabilities are going to be shown in the future. So as we mentioned, there's standalone offers. We saw the Intune Premium, where we saw remote help and endpoint management. Then plan 2, as we saw before, will be if you want the mobile tunnel or the management for specialty devices. Generally, people go towards the premium to start off with because the remote management help function is really what's hot right now, what you guys have been asking for. And then if you have more specialty devices, you're more on the enterprise side, you have BYOD devices, then we start looking at plan 2 and worry about patching them out. And some are going to be included with inside of the business apps that we include currently in Microsoft.
Awesome. I told you he was smart. Man, what a pleasure to have you alongside us here. Yeah, so this is, as Sam said, they're so perfectly TBC. So there's still some I's being dotted and T's being crossed on the Microsoft side. So we'll know more about the features as they get launched or as they get released or put into previews at least. But as of today, this is the info that we have. Again, when we send out the deck on the next week or so here, we'll have links to, let's say, the launch blog on Tech Community, as well as any other resources we can pull together between now and then, just to, again, help you simplify the cloud and kind of wrap your heads around all this good stuff coming from Microsoft.
And if you want to have an in-depth discussion about it, please let your account manager know. I'd happily jump on a call and discuss it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Sam, again, he gets to do a lot of the partner calls there. And again, if you've ever had a chance to or the privilege to work with him, you'll see why we hold him in such high regard.
You earned that $20.
Yeah, there you go. It's in the mail. Awesome. So keeping in line with product launches, this is fun. Hopefully, you may have heard some noise around, or surely the Microsoft marketing machine has introduced you to this at some point in time. So Teams Premiums is a new feature available from Microsoft, or a new license rather, that comes jam-packed with new features. Here too, we know what we know so far. We are expecting the feature list to grow, but for the time being, we're looking at Teams Premium as being kind of set up into three, or the value being demonstrated rather, in three independent, or three buckets. So if we're looking at the personalized, so we'll take a look at that, how intelligent meetings can and really should be, and then looking at the security as well. Also, a quick note here down at the bottom, we are kind of near the end of the promo period, but there is an introductory price, which does allow for 30% off. You can subscribe to an annual license and benefit throughout, but it'll be really for the duration of your term. So that's 1 month. It'll be 30% off the 1 month price. So again, do leverage, do get familiar. It is a solution that I think Microsoft is going to rival some other webinar type platforms out there. And I think it's something that we've been kind of anxiously waiting for, quite honestly, on my end. So yeah, a really exciting one. There's just some of the ways it's going to make it more human, right? Again, and in this day where we're all so disconnected, if you will, by physical proximity, feeling together, feeling included, are just some of the values that Teams has brought, at least for myself, and I'd imagine for the bulk of our team, and hopefully for many of you. So the ability to schedule. This is something that we can do, but you can actually have different templates. So this is different from the meeting experience that we have currently, where I can set up a meeting or an event. But now it's really going to say, hey, it's going to be for a customer call, for a demo. So maybe my template is going to be structured a little bit differently, but the ability to have these templates there and assign them, whether across a group or to users. A great little, I say little, like the value in here is incredible, but a small touch for something that we already have. We have access to these templates through some of the apps maybe you're more familiar with. We're bringing that same concept of rinsing and repeating into the team space. Again, this is something I think is it's really interesting. The branding, again, staying personal, staying human, being true to your company image. These are things we can do as well. So being able to brand the lobby, to have a custom background for all the employees who have this license, or all the users rather who have this license. Again, here we have kind of on this platform, we just kind of all have our own home backgrounds, and but having something that's more standardized, again, can give the appearance at least of being more in tune. Call back to the last section, but more in line or similar across the board. So in my opinion, and I think that's maybe if I'd have ranked the three here, the personalization is a really close second. The intelligence, as per me, is really where it gets just interesting. It gets really exciting. I think it is the future of all this. So Microsoft is big into AI, in case anyone hasn't known, but they are doubling down on this through their meetings environments. So some things like live translations will be there. So we actually were playing with this yesterday with a colleague and a partner. We were speaking in French, and we had a one of our team members was an Anglophone or English only speaker. And he was able to read the transcriptions. I think that was really fun. So just breaking down these barriers as you do business internationally. You can work with your partner's first language, keep them comfortable. And all of this through the AI can be translated so we can speak in different languages. So I just think it's really fun to have that in a business context. The second point is probably my favorite. So generating AI. So it's actually going to be listening to the conversation. Obviously super secure through Microsoft's space. But it's essentially going to be capturing some actionables. So we say, hey, James, you have to send out the recording deck, as I say here. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to send out the deck as well as the recording. Well, AI will actually annotate this and provide a recap. So I can go back in. I could maybe have maybe Sam disappeared off camera for a minute. And he was like, oh, what did James commit us to now? Well, he can actually go back and say, oh, see what James said, the commitments and the actionables there. So again, it's going to be almost hard to miss any information, whether you attend the meeting, whether you're multitasking or what have you. But it's just a crazy time to be alive, and I think it's a really cool feature. And similarly, if we look at the meeting recap, so there you can go through and I can actually search, okay, when did I speak? When did Sam speak? And I can kind of by section or by chapter, or by talking point, jump to the parts of the conversation that can turn me in particular. So no more skimming through transcripts, no more asking a friend kind of what's to be done, and maybe they didn't take all your notes for you. Well, this is all done now automatically through the power of Microsoft. And the last pillar when we look at Microsoft Teams meetings. So again, from a data, how to say this, from a, I'll think of a good word, but from data integrity is kind of what I had in my head. But the ability to watermark, right? So now it is a way that I can do these types of presentations, and someone can just kind of take our content and do a voiceover. But we can actually watermark this presentation. We can watermark the entire meeting. So that's obviously super helpful. And then from there, we're looking at locking down meetings, so with end-to-end encryption. So this is also something that's available. And then we can automate sensitivity labels through this. So if someone from our finance team or from our HR team is having a meeting, let's say maybe with a potential new hire, well, this recording, if it were the transcript even, would have a sensitivity label applied, and that means only people in that particular group and whatever that may be to your business would have access. Again, so just kind of eliminating some of the gaps, potential loopholes for some data to leak. Well, this is again a great mitigation, and all done through this platform, and this platform being the only and the best platform, Microsoft Teams. Yeah, so we'll keep going. So those are the two, let's say the two hottest features or hottest products coming out. There's definitely a few more, as any of you know. But again, do reach out. We'd be happy to share any type of value through this. Help make sense of it all. So in keeping in line with sharing information, keeping us all aligned, there's this great initiative from Microsoft called Do More with Less Workshops. So this, we had also done a previous webinar. Customer upsell tools was the name of the webinar, but the idea was to be able to identify customers, how to educate them, and then finally how to go about converting. So this is a callback to that webinar. Essentially, these workshops here are at these phase where we're looking to educate our customers. So here, what we'd ask and what we'd invite any of you to participate in would be to deliver a 90-minute training to some customers of yours to be able to speak to the value of Microsoft, with the premise being to consolidate, perhaps when it comes to security or communications vendors. By doing so, you'll facilitate or lessen the burden of management, and as well as have one ecosystem that communicates efficiently and securely with itself, as opposed to having bolt-on solutions that may leave for a gap here or there. So again, do reach out. Something we would love and really and truly honestly love to hear from you on. There are a couple of different avenues, whether that's looking at the Teams calling or Teams Essentials as one potential avenue for this type of workshop. Windows 365, another amazing product that's not maybe doesn't get the airtime it deserves. And then Business Premium, obviously, just an amazing value, an amazing suite of tools. So again, just being able to share, just being able to speak to your customers. There is an incentive for you. We even put it in blue, so it's hard to miss. But the idea is we want to incentivize you to have a better educated channel. We have great products, and I say we with my little Microsoft sweater on here. The products are amazing. Now it's just a question of letting people know how great it is. So that could be in the form, again, of a demo, of highlighting some of the value that you feel would pertain to that particular customer base or segment of your base. But we'd encourage you all to leverage this program. Educating your customers is generally a really good thing for all of us. So do reach out. We'd love to chat with you about it and see if it makes sense for your business. Again, just looking to provide value, and in this case here, even looking to help you provide additional value to your customers as well. All right. So we're getting near the end. The time is going cool. So the promotions reminders, pardon my my slang here for promos, but this is really around promotions. So some of the ones that hopefully you're well aware of or have leveraged. But if not, here's a quick little reminder. So the customer upsell or the new customer and customer upsell promo would allow you to take whether that be a net new customer, so brand new to Microsoft. It could be an existing Microsoft customer leveraging the legacy or the pre-NCE platform, or any customer even on NCE looking to upgrade. And the value here would be that you'd be able to offer the annual pricing, so the annual paid monthly pricing on a monthly commit. So this is kind of the best of both worlds, the way I see it, where you get the flexibility of having a monthly plan, but you have the cost benefit of adhering to a more traditional plan, if you will, in the 1 year space. So great value. There are select licenses included here. So Basic, Standard, Premium, Apps for Business, Teams Essentials, and Defender for Business would be the only licenses available on the Microsoft side, or the Microsoft Modern Work side of things. So again, great value. The promotion does end at the end of June, so there are just a few months left to take advantage of this fully. And then your first renewal after June 30th would see the pricing go back to normal. So that just means you get a chance to say, hey, come try this for a month. There's no strings attached. There's no long-term anything to worry about here. You do have the benefits of the pricing. And then should, and it obviously will, the solution meet the customer's needs, well, then they can adhere to the 1 year term and maintain that pricing going forward. So a try before you buy, so to speak. I think it's a question of educating, as you saw previously with the Do More with Less workshops. But then letting them get their hands dirty and kind of feel the benefit themselves. And the proof is often in the pudding. Dynamics. So D365 and Power Platform do have a similar or nearly exact promotion here. The product eligibility is expanded. So here it is for all Power Platform and D365 licenses. So again, great value, 1 month commit at the 1 year price. So that's just again, a really good value that we think you can bring. We're happy to be a part of. One more in terms of promotions. This one, I put new offer. It's probably about 3 months old now, which in Microsoft is it's like in dog years, like 21 months. Yeah, so this is another great offer. Here you would have a flat discount of 15% when looking to add the M365 E3. So a really important distinction there. It's M365 E3. And this would be on the annual commitment as well. So again, if you have customers looking to upgrade potentially, or they're going from O365 to M365, that would also be applicable. Again, it's a really good value. Anyone in the enterprise space, please do reach out. It's a great promotion. It's really quite easy to leverage. So do reach out. And again, when we send out the deck here in the next few days, we'll have a link to the landing page where you can go and inform yourself in the Microsoft lingo, and then definitely do reach out, and we can help to translate that into plain old English as we do. Awesome. So like I mentioned at the top of the hour here, getting back out, getting in person, connecting with partners and old friends, as it were, was great. I think I got my first kind of more than one-to-one meeting with partners just last week, and it was something I didn't realize how much I missed. So here are just some of the places I know our team. You'll see on LinkedIn the Sherweb Road Warriors. We're a little bit of everywhere. These are the ones we have coming up in the next 30 days or so. So we will be at IT Nation Evolve, Support World Live, and Channel Partners, so all coming up near the end of the month. So if you're in the area for any of these, please do reach out, drop by the booth, go get some socks, whatever kind of goodies we're giving out there. But again, it's the conversations, it's the connection that we're really out there for. It's to meet with you, it's to hear more about what makes you tick, some of your challenges as well. And yeah, we're definitely going to be really happy just to chat with you about your business and how it can be improved, or how we can support more than we're looking to revamp anything you've already done. And then virtually as well. So these types of presentations are something we love. Just again, we hope to provide some value in each and every one of these. We will have a Microsoft Partner Program update. So this is coming up April 25th. This is definitely one I would bookmark. You can find any of the virtual events in particular on our Knowledge Network. So do take a look there. But here we'll be looking at kind of what's changed since last year when the program, the Microsoft Partner Program, was initially released. Where are you in this type of journey? What challenges are you facing? What information are you lacking to be better informed to make the next 6 months fruitful and to ensure you're placing the partner ecosystem of Microsoft going forward? So again, we really do hope all of you can take the time. And then from there, we're looking at some Azure, so Dynamics, Coffee and Connect. These are great, super informal, two-way informative session there. So again, we'd hope to provide value. And then the Office Protect. This is, again, another amazing product we have via the privilege to support. But here too, shedding a little bit more light, some advancements, and dare I say, some new features launching that I can't say more about. I was sworn to secrecy, but on the 12th, do tune in. Deanna and Guillaume will surely take you through some of the magic they've been cooking up. Awesome. There's definitely more events. If you wanted to kind of sit with a member of the team, again, reach out to your account rep. We're here to do everything we can to support you. And if a face-to-face meeting with you and your team, some training, again, these are all things we're just happy to support. The grain of salt, or to the best of our abilities in all cases here, but I know Sam and myself have a couple events coming up that are really enablement focused to partners and live formats. So but throw your hat in the ring, make your request, and we're definitely going to do our best to accommodate.
We take bribes as well.
Big bribes, but yes, absolutely. Oh, awesome. So actually, I just kind of wrap up here. I guess we're just kind of check through the chat, see if there's anything fun that we can we can address here. I know our team has been answering chats. So there too, if your question hasn't been answered yet, feel free to throw it in. If you have questions, also, we love these. And I said it as part of the housekeeping, but there was the first 15 minutes or so, as you said, kind of meetings running over there. So if you did miss the beginning, there will be a recording of this shared in the next week or so.
I think Alex has been doing a phenomenal job of answering all questions. I don't think I saw any open one.
Yeah, he's just good on or off camera. Alex, thank you for all that you do. Really good. So without kind of dragging it on, Sam knows I can say goodbye for 15 minutes if anyone lets me. So I'll save you from myself here. I'll wish all of you a really amazing afternoon, a great week. Any challenges, any feedback, we're here just to help make sense of it all. So again, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much, James and Sam.
Thank you very much, James and Sam. Unfortunately, this is in Teams, right? So I couldn't put like applause emoji. So this is me applauding you guys for a great job on that.
Next time.